Dear students, starting with the next unit, unit number 11, Introduction to Screen Programming. In this unit, I am going to discuss about the sixth lesson, the lesson number 1, which is describing the general aspects of the transactions. In the lesson number 2, we will do the screen programming, a practical part of the screen programming. In the lesson number 3, we will create a screen and the screen elements using screen programming. Lesson number 4, modifying screen at runtime, how we can modify or call the particular screen at the dynamic time at the runtime. In the lesson number 5, we will show you how we can define the sequence of calling the screens. In the lesson number 6, we will call dynamically a dialog box. So starting with the lesson number 1, describing general aspects of the transactions. Here I want to tell you one thing. Any form of the interaction between the user and a programmer refers to a user dialog. For example, suppose entering the data by the user, choosing a menu item, clicking a button, or clicking or double clicking a list entry is a kind of an interaction between the user and the program, and this is called user dialog. So the current SAP programming allow us the single screen transaction. That means you can see in this figure there is a screen, output screen, in which we have number of sub windows. One window this one, second one this one, and third one this one. So by clicking on a particular item, the screen will display the related data corresponding to this item to the right hand side. When you click or save the particular item, then it will display just right below to this screen. So we are using here a single transaction in which the number of screens are nested and are being used. So single screen transaction allow the user or programmer to combine input screen as well as data screen in one window. User or client can switch between create, change, and display. User can also direct access the each object by clicking on a particular list of items. And the system retains context after the saving. So this was all about the single screen transaction. Come to the next topic, example screen layout. This is transaction of FB60. You can see in this figure there is a single transaction model in which onto a single window there are three screens, 1, 2, and 3. The first screen is showing the list of objects by which you can select particular object. When you click on a particular object, it will show you the object ID. That means it will display the properties of the object ID, and where you can fill the data related to this object. If you want to see the properties and detail of the object, just when you double click on it, it will show you detail of the object screen. So here we can say that this is a single transaction in which the three screens are placed. So this was the example of a screen layout of the transaction FB60. Come to the next topic. Now you can see this figure is showing the screen programming example, as we have created in the last unit selection screens, in which we have assigned the selection screen to each of the tabs: connection, aircraft, and booking. So this maybe you may call it as a single transaction model, and this screen is representing your particular screen number. If you want to see this particular view flight data, so you are calling here the screen number 110. Similarly, if you want to see the particular aircraft detail, this call is 120. And similarly, if you want to see the booking, maintaining of the booking, then it will call the screen number 130. And all of these screen are the part of a main screen, and the main screen number is 100. So this was an example of a screen programming of the process flight. Now come to the most important topic of this module number 2, TAW10 part 1. This is ABAP program types. Generally the ABAP program types are either complete or incomplete. ABAP programs that are complete can be executed and are of the following type. The first one type is type 1. As in the last video I have also discussed about the selection screen, and that was the type 1 program. You can run executable program by choosing the system, services and reporting, or directly from the ABAP editor you can execute the type 1 program. In the executable program, you may say that there are a number of set of instructions which is being processed in a predefined order. For defining this order, you may choose any programming language concept, which is the same here. If you want to execute this program, you can execute this program directly through the ABAP editor. Generally, the type 1 program create and display the list. A list is generally the type of output format, such as a normal list, which are created with the help of write statement. The write statement always created a list. Now come to the type number 2. This is module pool, that is also called type M. For creation of this type M module and execution of this type of program, you have to create at least one transaction code in which you specify an initial screen. That means in this module pool there will be a number of modules, and each module have a screens, and for executing this module pool we need to define the sequence of execution of the screens one by one. You can control this subsequent screens sequence either statically by using the screen attributes or dynamically through the programming of the code. So these two types are directly executable programs. That means you can directly execute through the ABAP editor. So these type of programs are called complete programs. Now come to the next type, ABAP program type, that is our incomplete type. So the following types of the programs that cannot be executed directly are called incomplete type. For example, you can see the type F, function group. Similarly, we have the another type that is called class pool, type K, interface pool, type J, and the fourth one is include program, that is type I. So all of these four types of the programs are incomplete type. Now starting with the first one type, which is an incomplete, that is type F, a function group that we have created in module 1. A function group can contain the function modules. It can also contain the local data types. It can also contain the global data objects, as well as it can contain the screens. Now come to the next one, that is called type I. As the name suggests, type I, that is include program. That means an include program can contain any ABAP statements. Come to the next one type, that is type J, an interface pool that contain the global interfaces, number of interfaces in this pool. It also contains the local types and the constants. Now come to the last one type of incomplete program is class pool, And the notation of denoting this class pool is type K. A class pool can contain the local data class types, constants, global data objects, local and global interfaces, as well as local classes. So this was all about the ABAP program types. Come to the next topic, program organization. Generally, when we create a complete type programs, or you may say that when we create the executable programs, then there is no need to be an organization. We just go to ABAP editor, give the name of the program, and just click on the create. It will create the program directly. Now, when you want to create include programs, so there is a need of management of these modules, because include programs includes a number of sub modules, and these modules must be managed, or you may say that these programs must be organized. So organization of this program you can done with the help of SCAT, that is also called Object Navigator. Now, how you can create this include program? The process is same of creating this executable program as well as non executable program, but we need to include this with top include sign. When you check it and then click OK, it will create your include programs, by which you can also create the structure programs, and these are sometimes called structure programs. You can see there are number of includes program. This is top include, these are the other modules, these are another modules. It may be these are the events, these are the form routines, this is PI module, this is a PBO module. PI modules means process after input module, PBO process after output modules. The global declaration that we have make the part of a particular module. Events we have grouped into the particular module. Form routines we have grouped into another program or include or some modules. So we can organize these programs using Object Navigator. Now, before starting with the next lesson, that is screen programming, or come to the next part, here we need to understand about the tables of the flight data models, because we are going to use these transparent tables in our programs. When you will go into the SAP dictionary SE11, you can find out the number of transparent tables like SPFly, SFlight, SBook, and SAPlane. If you want to explore the data, just select the database tables and give the name SPFly and click on the display button, and then with the help of data browser button you can populate the number of fields. You can see the number of fields like MNDT is there, CAR ID, connection ID, airport from, airport to, city from, city to. Similarly, you can also explore the SFlight. You can also explore the SBook, that is your booking. Aircraft you can also see. Now you can see there is a relationship between all of these tables. The MNDT, which is common to all of these and which is a primary key. Similarly, the CAR ID, which is showing the relationship between these first three tables, SPFly, SFlight, and SBook. Connection ID, which is also a key. Flight date, which is showing relationship between the SFlight and SBook table. And there is also a relationship between the flights table as well as aircraft table. That means the relationship exists between the SFlight table as well as SAPlane table, and the relationship exists due to a particular key, that is plane type, which is a non-key field in case of SFlight, but it is a key in case of SAPlane table. So this was all about the data models of the existing table in SAP system by which or we will use these tables in case of our SAP programming. So this was all about the lesson number 1 of the unit number 11. Come to the next lesson, introduction of the screen programming. Generally, what are screens? Screens are freely definable objects that are used to display or enter the information through the input or as well as output fields and so on. Or you may say that a screen is an object which allow the dialogue between the user as well as a web program. It make an interaction between the user as well as a web programs. This SAP screen may be as a container for other screen elements, and the screen elements, it may be the input field, it may be the output field, it may be the checkbox, it may be the radio button, it may be the command button and so on. So we have number of screen elements that only can be contained by the SAP screen. And the screen allow you to enter or display the data. As a user can enter the data using the input field, and user can also get the data onto the screen using the fields. So screen has many functionality. Come to the next topic, strength of the screens. As I have discussed in the last slide, the main strength of the screen is allow the user to enter the data into the fields and the display of the data which was entered by the user. You can use this screen in combination with the ABAP dictionary to check the consistency of the data entered by the user. And it also provides the user with the input help as well as a semantic help. The screen also allows you to create the user-friendly dialogues. That means the programmer may design a screen so that the user can easily interact with the data. User-friendly dialogue the programmer can create, like with the help of data element like push buttons, tab strip controls, table controls, and other graphical elements. So screen are sometimes called containers, which contains various screen elements. The screen may contain the table control. The screen may also contain the tab strip control. So these are the strength of a particular screen in screen programming. Come to the next topic, screens in dialog programs. Now this is an important part because this slide shows how the screen works behind the SAP system. As you can see, this is an application server, this is an database server, and this is our presentation server. You can see when a program starts, the system firstly loads its program context. In the first module, I have discussed about this context. Generally, when the program load into the application server or start into the application server, the context is always loaded from the repository, which was stored at the database server. Here the context means the fields label, the fields size, and other content that is directly loaded from the repository. So when it loads from the repository, it prepares space for the program data objects in the main memory. Then the initial screen is displayed. Then on this screen, the user can enter the data and take an action. When it take an action, the corresponding action, it will call the ABAP processing block. And the user action may be choosing a menu, clicking a push button, return control to the runtime system, and so on. So when the user perform any action, the ABAP processing block call from the application server, and this processing block have two modules. The first one is PBO, that is process before output, and second is process after input. The block is always processed after user interaction. You can see process before output, it will execute it before the output. That means before giving the output to the user, this block executed. After execution of PBO, it will display the screen to the user, and when the user enters some data into the screen, then the PAI will execute it. Then it may be the processing block may interact in between the database tables, because the processing block may contain some SQL queries in which the user wants to access some data from the database tables. So the database, from database table, it gets the data back and then display onto the screen. So this was all about the screens in the dialog program, or you may say that the execution of a screen onto this SAP system. Come to the next topic, attributes of the screen elements. Now screen elements I have discussed, there are a number of screen elements like text fields, input output fields, group box, radio buttons, check boxes, push buttons. So number of there are screen elements that we can use during the screen programming, and these screen elements have journal, dictionary, program, and display attributes. So there are a number of attributes related to these screen elements. The elements like subscreen, tab shift control, table control have journal and special attributes related to respective type. You can divide the attributes of an element into the following categories. We have generally three type of categories. That means the first one category is attributes that are defined statically and cannot be changed dynamically. This is called static attributes. First one. Second one, the attributes that are defined statically and can be changed dynamically, like the screen number. Once you have defined the screen number statically, then you can change it using the programming code. That means you are modify the attributes dynamically. The third one is attributes that are only set dynamically. That means that can only be changed with the help of coding. So not accessible statically. So these are the kinds of the attributes of the screen elements. Now come to the next topic. Screen attributes. There are a number of screen attributes you can see. Administrative attributes, type attribute, size attribute, sequence attribute, setting attributes. Administrative attributes like program, you can define the program related to a particular screen. Screen number you can define, short description, screen group, status, original language. Similarly, we have other attributes type, the normal type, that means the simple screen. Second is subscreen. If you want to show your dialog box, then this is another type of the screen. selection screen that we have done in the last unit, lesson number 10, unit number 10. The screen size you can also change statically or dynamically. Sequence you can change. Next screen you can also specify statically, or further you can change it dynamically through the coding. Another is setting. Number of settings are there. Hold of the data, cursor positions, all of these you can define into the screens. Now come to the next topic, defining and managing screens. Before proceeding on this topic, the one thing that I want to tell you about the screen numbers. So just come back. The screen numbers greater than 9,000 are reserved for the SAP system customers. So we cannot use the screen number which are greater than 9,000, as well as the screen numbers between 1000 to 1010 are reserved for the maintenance screen of the ABAP dictionary. So you cannot use these screen numbers. Again I am repeating here, the screen numbers greater than 9,000 that are reserved for the SAP system customers, as well as the screen numbers between 1000 to 1010 are reserved for the maintenance screen of the ABAP dictionary tables and the standard selection screens. Other than these screen numbers you can use, like in the last program we have used 1100, 1200, 1300. One more thing that I want to tell you about this screen consists of generally screen name and its flow logic. And the flow logic is generally a program that control how a screen image is processed. Or you may say that this flow logic contains the coding part, flow logic code. Okay. Come to the next topic, defining and managing screens. As you can see, this is a screen, and this screen has a number of attributes, as well as one thing, that is flow logic. And you can say this flow logic, we have two modules, PBO, process before output, as well as PAI, process after input. So on this screen you can create the number of screen elements. There are number of screen elements: text field, subscreen area, input field or output field, table control, search helps, checkbox, radio button, title bar, main menu, and box. So these are the screen elements that you can define and manage onto the screens. So this was all about the lesson number 2 of the unit number 11.